Hey everybody, I'm Momi. Welcome to my vlog. The other day, my buddy and I were having a conversation about which Southeast Asian countries we'd like to visit. And I said Vietnam, seems about, I have Vietnamese friends. They seem cool. Why not Vietnam? And he instantly cuts me off and he goes, oh, I would never visit Vietnam. Vietnamese people are very rude. They're very unfriendly. And then he just goes on this tirade about how rude and unfriendly Viet people are. And halfway into his tirade, I cut him off. I said, enough. Who do you think you are to generalize all Viet people like that? Stop it. I don't like competition. And then I explained to him that Viet people aren't rude. They just like to test your character. I first picked this observation up when my close Viet friend invited me to his house for the first time. The story goes something like this. Many years ago, my close friend Jason invites me over. We shake hands, we do formalities, and as soon as I take one step inside, a strong Indo-Chinese odor hits my senses, just ambushes my senses. I'm like, what is that? And he goes, what is what? I'm like, man, you know what that is. I'm like, what is that? He goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, man, your house smells like cheap noodles and Cambodian feet. And then he instantly goes, shut up, dude, you from Africa. That was his rebuttal to anything critical of him. You could be like, yo, Jason, your car lights are on. He'd be like, shut up, dude, you from Africa. In his world, Africans lived in mud huts. They ate bushmeat and rocked bow ties with shack shoes. He had his African image was very goofy and very primitive, very dated at that. I mean, the nerve of a guy who was born under a palm tree and who showered with buckets for most of his life to talk about Africans in a disparaging way. Anyway, I digress. Getting back to the story, we're having a good time playing video games and whatnot. My friend Jason goes, all right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, but I should let you know that my mom's gonna be here any minute. She's gonna drop off some items. I said, bet. All right, cool. And sure enough, a few minutes later, a diminutive Viet lady opens the door. She's carrying what I guess would be convenience store goods and accessories. And as soon as she sees me, she drops her bags and goes, McDang, what the hell? She even did a sideways communist fist pump to emphasize her frustration. At that point, I felt very uncomfortable. But before I can make my tactical retreat, she rushes towards me and starts yelling at me in her tropical dialect. I'm like, whoa. After a minute of this verbal blitzing, I gave her the look like, hey, Viet lady, back off. And that didn't work. All that made her do was yell at me louder and poke at me harder. And since I couldn't beat her, I joined her and I started yelling at her in the very limited Vietnamese words I picked up from social studies and third grade geography class. I said, Ho Chi Minh, Saigon, pho, bubble tea. And then the second I said bubble tea, she just starts laughing like a 90s cartoon villain, okay? And then goes, ha, you made me funny. Bubble tea not Viet, dum-dum. And then goes, and then smacks me in my arm and goes, and then just like picks up her bags and acts like everything's normal. Just picks up her bags and goes back to her corner of the ring. That's when her son pops out from the shower and then goes, what's going on? And I was like, yo, your mom was tripping, dude. And then he goes, oh, don't even worry about it, man. All Viet parents are like that, dude. They're very difficult initially, but if you get in, if they like you, they treat you very well. And you know what? He was absolutely right. She ended up being one of the most loving, one of the most giving people I've ever met in my life. So the moral of the story is, Viet people are not rude. They just like to test you.